Show cause. Oh, the show cause penalty.
Yeah, thank you. So the show cause penalty is basically saying that if a coach gets in trouble at one school, he can go to another school, but that same school
has to justify why they should hire him and why he shouldn't receive the same initial punishment he got at his other school.
Exactly. So it's essentially a
huge deterrent.
Essentially a way to easily blackball coaches who do things
or don't do
against
things.
the NCAA. So in this case, because it happened in the Pac-12 and it happened in California, now there's a situation where all the Pac-12 California teams, USC, UCLA,
Stanford, Cal, yada, yada, yada.
If they enforce this rule, they're violating California law because that no longer exists under California law. It is illegal to do that. But the NCAA, being the NCAA that it is basically saying you still need to abide by these rules because, well, we're the NCAA and nobody really knows what we do, but listen to us. Shout out to the Olympic Committee. But, yeah.
And Pac-12 Commissioner Larry Scott.
Yeah, so here's the situation, man. Is a Pac-12 teams just going to go independent? Because literally all those teams could be independent.
I don't think it's a Texas. Some of those schools can't afford to go independent. USC could be independent. Stanford can be independent because they have a stupid amount of.
Both those teams.
What's that called for? Like when they give you the schools have donations.
UCLA and Cal can't be independent.
I think their football programs would suffer. They need a Pac-12 network. It's not
Do they really? Honestly, what is the Pac-12?
Washington State can't stand on its own.
What is the Pac-12 really giving those California teams other than L's? Other than unexpected L's that cost them playoff berths later?
Well, that's Washington's fault.
So why don't you let them be independent?
The same way they won't let Texas be independent.
Wait, can you?
Sorry, but
God damn it, bro! You're off today.
You're off today. You showed up late. The fuck?
Anyways, point is, why can't you just give those 4 teams the right to pick their schedule, pick the 2 ranked teams they're going to play, go undefeated, and play their way into the playoffs? Shout out to Notre Dame.
Oh, this is why I can't let you get away with this statement.
I mean, that's what Notre Dame does. I just exposed them. I know you would be happy because I was truthful.
No. You're just stating the obvious that everyone knew. And by the way, this Notre Dame team looks better than that Notre Dame team that got their ass blown out by Alabama. I will say that. Ian Book is nice.
And LSU?
Yeah. But most specifically Alabama, because they got their shit pushed in. Manti Te'o's imaginary girlfriend left him after that game. That's why he was so depressed and he didn't make it in the NFL. But anyway, he still plays for the Saints. But anyway.
Your team.
No.
Your second NFC team.
No. I just like Drew Brees.
Yeah, you like the Saints, bro.
I root for the Saints.
You do.
I root for.
You've been rooting for the Saints.
I have family from Louisiana, so I root for the state of Louisiana.
You have family across the nation.
I do. You trying to make a smart-ass comment?
No, I'm just saying you do.
I do, yeah, because my family's originally from the South. Any more questions? But anyway. You being a smart-ass.
So why can't these 4 California
Notre
teams
Dame
go independent?
is independent.
How about this? How about
they
this?
print their own money. Texas prints their own money, and that's why the Big 12 tried to sue them because they didn't want them to have the Texas Football Network, and I think they still do. But anyway,
what are Arizona?
California?
What is Arizona's teams?
Bro,
what are
how many national
teams?
how many national
teams?
championships did Oregon, Colorado? How many championships did those teams win? Colorado won a national title, right? Arizona, did they win one? No. Arizona State? No. Stanford?
That's what I'm saying. The Pac-12 is
they would
those
have
California
to be a
teams.
Group. They would have to be a group. You would have to start a whole new shit. Because guess what? If they did revenue sharing, USC's no. We have the bigger endowment.
Hold up.
USC and Stanford have the bigger endowments.
To my perfect point. The perfect point I was going to make. You led me there. Shout out to your assist. The 4 Pac-12 teams just going to join the Big West. Big West going to bring back football.
Northridge is going to get all the shitty rundown JUCO players that don't have more than 3 stars.
Revenue sharing, boy. Imagine all California.
You know how much
football league.
That's an antitrust lawsuit waiting to happen. You like USC could break off. Honestly, that's what Mac Brown and them are worried about with the playoffs. They're like, why don't all these schools that don't need to be in a division just break off and become their own individual entities? USC, Texas, Alabama, LSU.
I mean, they all have enough
Ohio
time to
State.
do it. If Notre Dame can do it,
Michigan. But no, Notre Dame is different because they have like a whole they have a whole
how's it different?
religious
Nobody
code
needs the
and some other shit.
NCAA. Nobody needs it.
Nobody does, but the big schools get better kickbacks.
Actually, I lied.
It's politics.
The other 18 sports, the other 17 sports outside of
Title
basketball,
IX would sue the shit out of everybody.
Outside of basketball and football, need.
That's what I'm saying.
the
Revenue
NCAA.
sharing. Cal got rid of their baseball team a couple years ago.
But yeah, that's the whole reason why I want to talk about that topic, because the Big West is in a similar scenario with their California teams, but obviously since they don't have football, nobody really cares. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that point.
Yeah,
that's the whole reason why I wanted to bring up this subject.
Like you have places like the Big West or Big Sky Conference or whatever. Like Sac State, they have a football team
Because California has a shit ton of
athletes.
colleges.
Yeah.
So really,
private colleges.
this is a big issue for the NCAA because there's a shit ton of college athletes here.
Oh, and I forgot to say it like a couple weeks ago. What's that fucking school up north where all the weed is at?
Sonoma
State. They're getting rid of their
Shout
football
to Alex
program.
Kappa.
They're getting rid of their football program.
Wait. They have their first NFL player.
They're getting rid of it. They're getting rid of their football program. I found this out like 3 weeks ago. I totally forgot. I kept wanting to bring it up, but I forgot it. But yeah, they're getting rid of football
crazy.
there. Not enough money.
There's nothing else to do up there between there and Seattle, football-wise.
That's why you can't have
between there.
You can't not have a Pac-12 because it'll just be pandemonium. And like Arizona's not going to be in a conference. They'll just say, well, yeah, you're playing former Pac-12 schools, but they're not going to get treated like BYU. BYU could be a Pac-12 school, but we saw when they lost to Utah State and a couple other people that they're just not really up to snuff. But they can sneak a win off Wisconsin. Speaking of Wisconsin. Shout out to T-Pain.
Shout out to T-Biggs.
Shout out to your homeboys who played at Indiana, who always gives Ohio State a rough time, but Ohio State spanked them pretty bad.
All right, are you done with this football shit? Because I'm trying to talk about culture and we don't have a lot of time. So
yeah, okay. So take your tangent.
Do you have stuff?
Yeah, I have stuff.
Go for it.
So Wisconsin receiver, originally from Georgia, just the state, not the school.
Okay, like
he
we
had a
literally don't have a lot
okay,
of
could you be
time.
quiet? So he had a threesome with 2 white girls, and they accused him of rape. But there's evidence in the story that suggests they might be lying because there's like positive texting back and forth before and after the whole thing went down. And the kid might be facing like 40 years, but he feels totally confident, and his team and his lawyers feel totally confident they're going to beat the case. So, yeah. And that's athletes and people are drawing racial lines with the story, and then they're drawing, the athlete, the entitled athlete line with the story, and sexual responsibility.
Just people, not you, though.
I mean, I have my feelings, but those are whatever. But I can't ignore the fact that...
So why don't you share those feelings in a take?
Because it's like... Okay, someone needs to explain to me how you can rape 2 people in a threesome when it was all agreed upon beforehand. That's why, like, some of the facts of this case, I need to see more information. But from what it looks like a situation where they just felt afterwards that, yeah, we really did that with a black guy. That's gross. And those stories happen because up in Connecticut, this white girl literally lied on these 2 dudes. They got expelled from school, lives ruined, and she only got like 6 months in jail. And she just laughed about it. You can go look up the story of the chick in Connecticut who ruined these 2 football players' lives, 2 black guys. Said that they raped them. Never happened. I can't pretend like those stories don't happen a lot. And it's usually always the same formula.
I mean, they've been happening. They've been happening for centuries.
Blaming black dudes for rape, and
they've been happening for centuries.
That's why. So, like, when stuff like this happen, especially in like flyover states in Middle America, places like Wisconsin, Nebraska, Indiana, whatever, there's a reluctance there because there's racial tensions along those lines. And also in college, when it comes to rape and sexual assault, hell, we went to Northridge. We've had to do all types of, the consensual sex seminars, pretty much at your school, they have like,
okay, man,
the training, the sex seminar
I need you to polish
everyone
up
has to go through. Bottom
go.
line
You're better
is,
than this.
I don't pick a sides in situations like this. I just need to
You
get more
definitely
information.
do,
but no, I'm just saying
you've learned better. You know better now.
I know better to just assume one thing, but I'm also reluctant.
Props to you.
But when it comes to black people being accused of rape, especially black males, I'm really sensitive to it because I know we're the most picked on group. And anytime you say a black person did something, anytime you say a black person did something, everyone will just assume the worst.
Not everybody. That's not true.
Most
you
people.
don't. You don't.
Yeah, I don't always.
You don't, and people like you don't. So don't say everybody.
But we're outnumbered by a lot of other people.
Are you?
Did you not see the Kavanaugh hearings? How the hell did he not get charged?
That's a whole different issue.
That's what I'm saying. But I'm saying
that's a whole different issue.
Everyone, people still voted for him.
So can I jump in yet? Okay, I don't want to talk about
a random black dude gets
accused
accused of rape.
So can we?
And we assume he did it.
Yeah, man. So there's a lot of things you just touched on because I don't think
he said it happened to one of his frat bros.
I don't think it has to be rape. It can be any sort of crime, and we automatically assume a person of color did it. And usually, if you're black, that percentage is even increased. Than
guilty
if you're brown.
before you're guilty, even when you're innocent. Brian Banks.
The thing is, man, you already touched on it. We've dealt with these situations a lot in the history of the podcast, and I think it's a rough situation, as you talked about, because it's like you don't know what side to believe because you want to give someone the person of the doubt, as you should, because there's a legal process and someone's innocent until proven guilty. But at the same time, sexual assault and rape is a big topic, especially right now, especially on college campuses. And so you can't just admit that either. So I'm basically in the same situation of you, as in we just need to give it more time because we've already learned from these past situations that it could really go either way. Yeah.
But in my case, as a black male, I just have to know that
there it is.
There's a chance this kid didn't do anything, and it was just an honest threesome, and somebody had buyer's remorse afterwards. Or like in the Keith Pumphrey situation, where he was expelled from Michigan State, and they pretty much cleared him of no wrongdoing, and because of some legal bullshit or whatever, maneuvering, he's expelled and can't go to any school.
The thing is, though, everything you're saying is true. But
bottom line, I don't trust the legal system, so I need to see this shit play out.
You also there's plenty of instances.
I don't trust the legal system.
Where men in general get pinned on this crime, and that's a cultural thing where it's like we don't have a lot of concrete things about what really.
Bottom line is, I think.
Our sexual appropriateness is being challenged right now all across in the professional setting, personal setting, intimate setting. So it's like it's kind of a scary time.
I
and
think sexual assault
we saw it with Duke lacrosse. We see it all the time.
Sexual assault is a landmine, no matter who touches it.
Exactly.
So you could look at like Denzel Curry in a Breakfast Club interview, talked about being molested. A lot of males are molested as children. And we don't talk about it. It's shamed almost. Look at the Catholic Church. One got shut down, I think, in Pennsylvania somewhere. So these are really touchy situations, and I don't trust the legal system, so we got to see all the evidence play out first.
And a lot of people get off, too. I mean, that's the other thing we want to talk about.
Most sexual crimes, yeah.
That's the other thing we ought to talk about.
Yeah.
But
also,
man.
I'm going to talk about some shit that happened with journalists, but anyway, I got two more. I'm pretty sure you want to talk about this for your rant. Go ahead and get the door. Hugh Freeze was hired by Rick Neuheisel to be the offensive coordinator for like an Arizona Alliance of American football team. Yeah, same nasty ass Hugh Freeze who used money